welcome to Cookies, Fishing, Capers, and I am back at Rural Roosts, and I am in the lodge which is known as the Little Owl. As you can probably just see behind me, we sport ourselves this week. We're going to be going into the hot tub behind later, and in between that I'm going to do some fishing. So folks, I have just lost a little one. It was only a small one. I would say the biggest it must have been was 4 pounds. But anyway, that's what I'm using, the chickpea, flavoured in my turmeric. And that's the one I just had a little carp on. I'm putting it straight out because they're all over here, so yeah, let's get straight back to it. Okay, so on my other rod, I've got the Ronnie rig dipped in IB. High impact essential IB with 3 freebies in PVA mesh, and we'll see how this rod does. Boilies versus chickpeas. It's going to be a 3-hour session today at best. Well folks, don't laugh. It's probably one of the smallest carps I've had, the smallest carp I've ever had in a while. I'd say at what, pound now? £2 maximum. I'm going to put him straight back. Right, so yeah, I had that one little carp, bless it, and lost 2, but they were only small. Oh, welcome! And I've got my first real full day today. I'm a bit late. I own a recruitment agency in Bridge North, and because I'm away, there's a few things unscheduled happened this morning, so I'm a few hours behind. But the good news is I've managed to fit in my 10k run this morning around here, which is pretty good for me. I feel like I put a few pounds on over Christmas, and I'm ready and waiting to catch quite a few carp today. I'm hoping I have a day like I did before. I'm going to aim, well, to get as many as I can. I'm fishing this rig here, which is on the boom on the Boilie. And I'm fishing my usual, there you go, my wafter Ronnie rig with the chickpea in turmeric. These are the boilies I'm using, folks. The mainline high impact spicy crab. By the way, I am not sponsored by Mainline. I'm not sponsored by Rural Roosts. I am here just telling you what I'm using as bait. I'm using a bit of ground bait, which is nothing, putting some Robin Red pellets in with the ground bait. This is the ground bait, you've probably seen it before, I've used it before, Pro Natural ground bait mix, nothing out of the ordinary. I have used some stick mix liquid, which is Cell, and these are my chickpeas I've been using from the co-op just down the road here. They seem pretty good actually. So as you probably can tell, it is pretty damn windy at the moment. It looks to me like it's turned into a westerly now, from a southwesterly to a westerly. It's hitting that far bank, which is exactly where my rods are. I'm just going to try and focus in for you as best I can. Sorry about that, let's just make sure you get that a bit better. So my left hand rod with the chickpeas, so I don't know if you can see that tree sticking out there. And there's another one to the left. I will put arrows in for you again. The one on the left is where the chickpeas are, and that is just under 16 wraps from where I'm casting from, literally just in front of me down here. And the right hand rod is against the right hand tree, foot off it, and believe it or not, that one is 16 3/4 straight across to that area. So let the battle commence. Let's see how we get on. So guys, we finally had one, and I say finally, I've only been here half an hour, but I've been wearing these polarized glasses, and I've been looking in the margin in the area, and just up from me on the left hand side it was clouding up. I dropped the chickpea rod straight on the spot. I hadn't even managed to put the alarms on, ripped off. So honestly, if you can, invest yourself in some of these. It can be anything from 10, 20, 30 pounds. I'm not advertising these. I don't get sponsorship, but I would strongly recommend to get some, because that can be difference between catching and not. And I'll just show you this fish. He's only about, in my opinion, 5, 6 pound actually. I'm going to go 5. Right, what I've done is I've decided to fish the margins out of the wind, and I'm literally about 2-3 feet out from the side. When that went crashing off, it was literally a metre, 2 metres out maximum. I'm just going to show you what I've been doing. So my left hand rod has got the boilie on. I'm just going to show you exactly what I've done and what I do when I do margin. I love margin fishing. I absolutely love it. I love it when that rod rips off. And actually, some of my best carp I've ever caught were right in the margin, right near where I fish. I'm a strong believer that margins get neglected. You just saw me earlier on. I've cast straight out 80, 90 yards in front of me. Put my glasses on, look close in, and there they are, right under my feet. It's crazy, isn't it? So I'm just going to show you how I operate it. I always put a marker. Whenever I fish, I put a marker where I've put it in. Now, I'm not saying damage the side of the pool, but what I do is things like I put a little. I'll just show you. Actually, let me just flip this round a moment. So I just put a little footprint right there, right in front of that bush as a marker, and I'm fishing literally about there, about 1 metre to 2 metres out, no more. And that's the pool, that's the rod with there's the left hand rod there, and that's got the boilie on it. So I put a few boilies on that. Onto the green rod, which is where I've got my chickpeas. Same thing. So I'm coming down the side here. Now, this pool is amazing really, because right where I am, in retrospective to the gate and the fence, down here next to this pontoon, it gets really deep. Now, what I'm really intrigued about is just how cloudy it is. Now, you can see I've put my little dig in the grass there, and again, I've just gone out probably 3 metres. Guess what? It's about 6 feet. Well, it's 5 to 6 foot there. It's incredibly deep. So, question is, I'm just going to bring you back to me. Which one will rip off, if any at all? I'm chancing my arm, I suppose, because I could be casting into that wind and maybe getting a few more, but sometimes, as you know from the last time they were out there, but just maybe they're down near my feet. So what I've done is I've put some pellets and some crushed up boilies and a few other boilies to my left hand rod, as you saw earlier, and I've put it with some hemp oil and some cell mix oils. As you can see, look at the slick that's causing. Same again to my right hand rod there, look, same thing. But obviously what I've put with that one is chickpeas, and the battle is on, so it's 1-0 to the chickpea. You can see just how I've got my bobbins there, so they are literally almost flat to the floor. You want to see if any fish are going to come in on the margins. You know, I'm going to give it an hour or so. Well, we've got a little one off the pontoon on the chickpea. There we have it, folks. 4 to 5 pound maximum. I'll take it at the moment. Well, I've got to get back to the lodge. I've got to sort a few things from work that's just come up, unfortunately. Gut wrenching. So I'll be back tomorrow. Over and out. Today I'm a little bit later again as scheduled, but you can see what I've done there with the chickpea, with the pop-up as well. I'm going to flavour it up a little bit. but I am just going to fish margins today, just within this very close proximity from where I am. I'm actually facing a south to southwesterly wind. I'll show you details exactly where I am in just a moment, but there's a good reason for it, and I do think that this will play a part today. Today, it was 2-0 yesterday to the chickpea, but it's 1-0 to the Ronnie rig today so far. Nothing outstanding, but I'll take him nevertheless. I'd say 4 or 5 pounds maximum. So I'm just going to show you, or going to show you, the chickpea situation there. So there you are, I'm just going to show you for the camera. It acts as a bit of a wafter, the chickpea, and I flavour it in pepperami goo. You should be able to see behind me. There's otter fences around the reservoir now. Unfortunately, when I came over in Christmas with the family, there was definitely signs that otters had been entering this pool. And I have to say, there were quite sizable fish that were taken. I didn't mention it on the last video, I didn't think it was worthy of a mention, but I will mention it now. You had captured him on the video, and fair play to Tim. He took action and put the otter fences in. There were big fish that were taken the last time, and of course the big fish are the slowest fish of all, aren't they? They're slow. They're not going to move away from those otters very quickly. So yeah, it's a shame. Look, I know there's a place for everything in nature, but it's just so sad for some of the fishery owners at the moment. They're getting hit hard. And of course, post-COVID, it's been tricky. Places like this and fishery owners have been hit pretty damn hard on this situation. Okay, so I'm packing up now. Yeah, it's gone quiet. Tomorrow I'm going to have 1 rod on the Zig. Definitely going to have 1 rod on the Zig tomorrow. This time of year, early springtime, is brilliant, so I'll run through a few hints and tips in what to do with that in tomorrow's video. Right, adjustable zigs. I'm not going to run through the complete realms of it, but it's really easy. So there's your main line, and you thread, don't even know what to call that as such, but a running rig you could say. There, that all comes together as a pack. I've only got a 2-ounce lead on that, but I tend to use 2 ounce. I've always hooked fish on it. But that's how it comes along there. So it goes through there first, that goes on first with your lead. It's all part of the pack. It's a quarter one, this one is, by the way, adjustable one. And then you've got what the floating system, that from the bottom of the lake, that floats your zig up in the water. Now, as you can see there on the back is where you'd put your PVA nuggets. So for example, now I'm going to put that right on the back like so. So you can see there's your marker for it. Now, really interesting this. So I've measured off 12 inches from the top of the floater system. I'm going to use yellow today. There you go. And I'm going to flavour that up, only using something like Scopex spray. So I'll give that a bit of a spray now. Get those flavours going. This has worked for me in the past, so that's why I'm using it. And the reason I've measured it off is, as you'll see in a moment, I'll come back to in a second, I'm now going to attach that link to the floater. So, the float, however you want to call it, floater. Anyway, so that is now connected like there. So you can imagine this will be floating to the surface from the bottom with that. All looks complicated, I can assure you it really isn't. So now what I'm going to do is, or what I tend to do, just making sure it's all free and there's nothing to tangle up. This is the beauty of adjustable zigs, you see, because no exaggeration, it's in like that now, and I'll cast that out right into the middle of the lake, and I'll show you in just a moment. Don't worry, that's just the wind knocking my rod there. And yeah, I'll cast it out and I'll show you exactly how it operates. Come back to you soon. Right, so the reason I've got you a close up here is I've just cast out with a zig, and I'm just about now going to take the bail arm off and let the line go. Probably can't hear that, but it's coming off really fast here. And I've just seen the float come to the surface. I can see where it is. It's in the distance. So what I'm going to do, and what I'm looking to do, is watch that float disappear. So as soon as that float disappears, I'm just going to keep an eye on it for one moment. And I'm just going to take that off a bit there. I can still see it. As soon as that disappears, right, it's just disappeared. So I know now that once I hit that point there where I've put the elastic there, once that comes back to there, that hook should have disappeared. Okay, so I'm going to grip it again from that point. There's another 12 inches underwater. That's 1 foot underwater, 2 foot underwater, and I'm going to go 3 foot underwater to start with. Doing no more than that, keeping the slack on it, and believe it or not, we are ready to go. That's just very, very tight now, and anything, I'm probably just going to let a little bit go there. Yeah, so that's perfect. It's ready to go. I now know, I've seen the PVA nuggets come off. Now just a little tip, on a windy day my advice is put 2 nuggets across that section tight, because make sure you lick it well and get it stuck, because in these conditions sometimes the hook can come off. So make sure you've got the 2 nuggets on firmly, and then just put the hook over the between the 2 foams, and then give it a good cast out. Let's see how we get on. Right, well, just an update on the butter beans. What I've resorted to doing is this, putting 2 butter beans on a rig like that, on the boom. The reason for it is simple really. I've found they are getting quite soft, and I'm not sure I've had a take there over there and it's just sucked the butter bean off. This does seem more firmer. I've put, as you can see, a stop, 2 stops across the back, just to see whether that'll make a difference. And yeah, I shall let you know how we get on. Well, I've made a move opposite end. I've caught this on the mainline boilie. Obviously I haven't got any chickpeas, and I've got to be surprised if this isn't touching 20 pounds. Well folks, I've made the move, and yes, what can I say? I'd expect this to be over or thereabouts 20 pounds. Caught on the crab boilie. Very happy man. Well folks, this is the rig that just caught a 21.5 pound fish. So there you have it, with an orange tip on there, on a boom. I'm blown away with that. Well, I can't quite believe this. Same place. I've only brought this to one side. Same rig. You'd almost think it was the same fish. It's incredible. But I don't think he's quite 20 pounds, but he's certainly an upper double. Again, beautiful condition. Oh, just check that out. I mean, that is beautiful, isn't it? You know, bit of an old warrior. He feels very cold, I have to say, but fabulous. Right, well, you've guessed it, same rig again. 12-13 pounds this one. I'm going to put him straight back because the weather's turning pretty nasty. Another day. So, last night I microwaved the butter beans. I've got to be honest, I'm not sure how this is going to play out. Well, what's really interesting is sometimes when you try new baits, you come up with these experiments, wafter rigs, things like that. And well, just check this out. I could only call it the flying saucer rig because just check this out. Now I've checked it in the water, right? And it actually floats just like a flying saucer. So I've used the spiced crab boilies on both rods, and this is the rewards. I'd say it's about 13-14 pounds, just to the right of where I was casting yesterday. And yeah, perfect condition, all common carp. So, butter beans. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are with them, because I'm a little bit paranoid about them, unlike the chickpeas, where I know that I could cast a distance, they're still good. With the butter beans, I cast out earlier, it was okay, it came back in good. But then afterwards, the bean had gone. Bean had gone. So a bit frustrating, just had a heavy shower. Probably you see remnants of a rainbow behind me. So I'm trying to nip one and pearl one here because I've got a right rainstorm coming in right behind me. So, but what a beautiful mirror carp this is. It's again on the boilie. I haven't got my chickpeas, as you know. I'm not going to give up though. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna make this quick. Oh, doesn't want to go. Oh. Oh. It's got I've had a bit of a rainstorm, and yeah, we've got one here, and it's a mirror carp at last. Here we go. How beautiful is he? Probably be about 7 or 8 pounds, maybe no more than that, but can't grumble. On the boilie, obviously, I haven't got the chickpeas with me today. I will keep on the butter beans though, and we'll see how we get on. Right, so I am going to call it a day today. My wife Angie and I are looking to go for a couple of drinks this evening down the pub on a Friday night, and well, let's see if those beans work tomorrow. Well, welcome everybody. And I've had a bit of a think last night on these butter beans. Just the wind blowing. It's, you know, I haven't had a single day this week where it hasn't been blustery. Anyway, on another subject. So I thought about butter beans, and I thought I've been using them on a hair, and you can hook them quite easily. Now I haven't done anything like this for years and years and years, to be honest, but I've got some big. I went down Short Ferry Tackle Shop, which is only 5 minutes in the car from here, and I thought I'll get some bigger hooks. I'll keep to the boom, but rather than hair rigging it, I'm just going to put it straight on a large hook. As you probably can see from behind me, I have come from the northerly section of this pool today. You probably can't get a good view of it here, but I've come left to where I was for the last couple of days. I knew the wind was going to change to a westerly direction, which is exactly what it's done. It's now hitting the bank to my left. Now, I'm probably being a bit of a fair weather fisherman today, but I've been blasted by that wind all week, and I don't know if I could cope another day sitting in the wind. So I've decided to fish behind it, but into the wind, if that makes any sense. Well, I hope fortune does favour the brave, because I've decided to go right in this wind. I'm sat behind the bulrushes. I was on this peg a couple of days ago. I've just fished on the one rod close in with the boilies, on the Robin Red boilies I've got at the moment on the right hand rod. Left hand rod I've got on the butter bean, one hook straight through on a single straight to my left hand side. I'd sat over there and all I kept seeing was fish top up from where I am now all the way down. I thought I might have been better in one respect over that far side for comfort, but certainly I'm here to catch carp. You've got to get on where the fish are. Location, location, location. Well, it wasn't on the zig, it was on the boilie rod. I swapped them over, so I put the boilie rod down on the left hand side where I've seen a lot of activity, and I've just put the zig rig just in front of me. But another common carp, nothing to weigh. I'll go no more than what, £6? Yeah. Still happy though, not blanked, that's the main thing. You know what, you know when things are crazy in life, busy, hectic, stressful, especially nowadays, the stress levels for, I'm sure, a lot of you guys with work and commitments and the crazy world we're living at the moment. But times like this, just look at that behind me, peaceful, quiet. And to me, this is what fishing's all about. I'm packing up in a moment, but I'm going to have a few minutes to myself, because yeah, it is just wonderful to be in a place like this. Last day tomorrow. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm pretty down about that, to be honest. But I've had a crazy week. I've enjoyed it. Very blustery week. And butter beans drive me nuts. I do think they could be a great bait on the river though, for the old barbel. Don't think we're going to get any chickpeas tonight. Looks like Angie and I are going to hot tub it tonight, have a chill out. I'm going to get up early in the morning, first light, and I'm going to sort out where I'm going to fish this time. But since that wind's gone, it's just gone really, really quiet on here. But quite like it as well, to be honest. It's not all about fishing, is it? Well, good morning, and today is officially my last day, and I've had a wonderful week, and I'm hoping on my last day we're going to catch some nice fish. But to catch it all, you've got to be happy this time of year. Just look from behind me, you'll see the wind is coming from the north, so it's a northeasterly wind, and in this area in the cove to my right is where the fish was showing quite a lot last night, right in this far bank. Now 12 hours have passed since then. I did see what I thought was a fish in that corner this morning. I'm going to give it a good try. I'm going to start with the boilie rod right hand side, and I'm going to stick with the zigs, those blooming zigs. I can't catch anything on them at the moment, which is really frustrating, but they do work, honestly. I know I know you're thinking smack you full of rubbish, but it's true. It's true. Just a tip really regards the adjustable zigs. Don't be afraid to peel line back on, even watch your float come back up and then bring it down. Sometimes when you make action like that, carp will sporadically hit it, and 9 times out of 10, I'm telling you, the takes are savage on zigs, adjustable zigs. They really are. Well, good news. We've had one on the boilie, on the right hand rod in the cove, and what a nice mirror carp. There you go. I'm going to hazard a guess about 6-7 pounds, nothing more, but a nice start. Just to give you a reminder of the rig I'm using, the boom with the boilie and a piece of fake corn. It's very simplistic, but it's doing the damage at the moment. It looks like it's a day of mirrors today off these spots. It's only a little one, probably about 4 pounds, maybe 5 max, but got his nice winter colours on him, and we'll put him back and so we can get another one. But of course that was on the boilie again, same spot towards the reeds to my right. Well, as you can tell, I've changed my headgear. It's turned a little bit cooler. It's currently about 8 or 9 degrees, but there's a bit of a breeze on me. I've just lost one to the right hand rod again. Felt a bit decent, that one. This is a strange day because, yeah, obviously the right hand rod with the boilie is gone again, and it's strange because it's another mirror. Slim Jim. Again, I'm going to hazard a guess around about 4 to 5 pounds. He's more long than he is thick, but yeah, I'll take it. So I don't know about you, but it's strange sometimes, isn't it, fishing? Because 3 carp today, 3 mirrors. That was my right rod again. I keep getting a few liners on that rod where the boilies are in that corner. Yeah, and yet last few days, the other side of the lake, common carp predominantly. I think 90% of the carp I caught were common. And yet today, this side of the lake, all mirrors. It's obviously just pure chance, but makes you think sometimes, doesn't it? I'd be interested to know if any of you guys have had any similar circumstances on the lakes you fish. I've got to go. Okay, I'll give you one guess what variety of carp this is. Yes, you've guessed it, folks. It's another mirror. Bizarre. A bit bigger this time, not much. Probably in the 7 or 8 pound bracket. But yeah, my last day's turned into a, I wouldn't say a red letter day, but 4 carp. I'm happy with that. Yeah, all on the same rod. But I wonder how many more mirrors are in those reeds. Isn't it strange? Answers on a postcard from any of you guys who experienced something very similar. Very, very peculiar. Catch me later. So, I've put some pepperami goo, and I've resorted back to the flying saucer rig. I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to give it a good go, and yeah, it's gone cold. It's my last hour, and why not? Let's just give it a bit of a whirl. Doesn't really matter, does it? I've had a great week. We can finish it off with that working. That'd be even better, I think. It's about to hammer down on me, I think, and well, it's gone quiet after those 4 mirrors. The daily mirror, or the Sunday mirror, depends how you look at it. But I've had a fabulous week. I hope you've enjoyed my crazy events, mad winds, mad situations. I must admit, one of the craziest weather situations I've experienced for some time, but I've enjoyed every bit of it. I haven't blanked, which is nice. because you can blanky, you know, it can happen. And I just want to say thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, hit the like button, and if you want to see more, smash up the subscribe. Thanks for watching.